Atlanta's #1 radio stations, Swanky 93.3 and The Heat 94.6 radio stations, has you covered. From our studios to our newsroom at K.L.P Entertainment. Listen on all major audio platforms like Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audacity, Apple Podcast, Stitcher Podcast, Google Podcast, YouTube, and more.
Pass it on.
Now's the time to stay apart. Social distancing. But I'm adding something else. Pull together. What's pulling together while we're staying apart? It's calling family to check in on them. It's waving to your neighbor. It's the things we should have been doing all along. And when this tragedy passes and we're able to come together, we'll be stronger than ever because we've already pulled together. Stay apart. Pull together.
Pass it on.
From passiton.com.
Go! What's going on in Hot Atlanta? Live from Swanky 93.3 and The Heat 94.6 brings back the hottest hip-hop radio show live from K.L.P Entertainment and K.L.P Studios. Go! It's K.L.P Aftermath and K.L.P in the Morning with your host, K.L.P Kennedy Lucas and Rocco Styles.
You know what it is? Put your hands up.
Tune in now on any audio platform.
Go.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 85% water, right?
85% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Ooh, pass me the intercom thingy.
Attention shoppers. If you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Don't pay for water. Pay for clean. If it's gotta be clean, it's gotta be Tide Pods.
Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
Hey, what's going on, Atlanta? You're tuned in now to the latest new podcast from K.L.P Studios and K.L.P Entertainment. This is Spectrum Podcast. I'm your main host, Blaze Ryder, for another exciting podcast of news of late. Now, Nicki Minaj sets record as female rapper with the most #1 albums in history. Now, we all know that her latest LP album, if you will, Pink Friday 2, which debuted #1 on the Billboard's Top 200. It sold over 228 album equivalent units in its first week, which is about a 92,000 upsell per sale. Now, Pink Friday 2 has also marked Nicki Minaj's #1 on the 200 for the Billboard, setting her apart from Foxy Brown as the female rapper with the most chart-topping projects. Now, I enjoyed this album. I took a listen to it, and my review on this was really, really good. It was very, very receptive for me. It was very, very digestible for me. I feel like Nicki Minaj has it to where now she is coming back into the light of things. She is coming back to, I don't want to say reclaim her crown, because honestly, she never lost it. Now, we all know, as podcasters and radio producers here in Atlanta, but everybody knows about it, that we always have to compare when it comes to rappers, artists, movies, film directors, whomever. Now, if you break it down, compared to Nicki Minaj and Cardi B, I do think that Nicki Minaj still has it. I think Nicki Minaj is a little bit better than Cardi B in just my own opinion, based off the amount of songs that she has wrote, co-wrote, produced, and even rapped on. She, to me, everything that she's spitting is spitting facts. I feel like Nicki Minaj has and will always have that continued flow of having her raps mean something. Not to say that Cardi B's rap doesn't mean much to her, but I feel like Nicki Minaj, she's been in this game for a very, very long time, and it's not foreign to us. I remember when the first Pink Friday came out years ago, and everybody was dancing to Super Bass, right? That is the staple song that everybody knows. That's what one of her songs that made her pop up was Super Bass, right? So now that she is continuing on her legacy, she's continuing on her album, and to be the most #1 albums in history, that's groundbreaking. Now, I do like the way that she's marketing it. Of course, if you guys don't know, she's been on Kai Cenat's live stream, and a lot of people have their choice words about Kai Cenat. I think Kai Cenat is hilarious. I think he is making the money, and it's content. You have to build your content. You have to build everything that you have for your business, right? Is content creating. So I do think Kai Cenat's content creation, it's funny, it's hilarious, it's a little goofy. But if you think about today's society, goofy does sell. It sells it to the market. So it really works for Kai Cenat. And it was a no-brainer to have Nicki Minaj on Kai Cenat's live stream, because this dude, he's pulling in millions of views each stream, or damn near. So Nicki Minaj sees it as a business move. Now, of course, Elliot was he's a writer, I guess. I haven't really heard so much of him, but he's a writer. He's a interviewer, and he was a little bit shaded about Nicki Minaj not wanting to be a part of his interview process to get the sales up and to help market the album. But I tell you, one podcaster, and I'm sure Kennedy, he's listening to the show, he knows, because they always talk about it on his shows, but Joe Budden has the opportunity to where he teased that Nicki Minaj is going back for another interview. We all saw their first interview with Joe Budden and Nicki Minaj. I just think this is a good business move. I don't think that this is a bad idea. I think it's a business move to pop up on streamers, right? Content creators who bring in the millions and thousands of views. Is a marketing play for your album. Now, in addition to this, of course, the Big Difference artist, that's one of the songs, became the first woman in hip-hop to have a #1 album in 2 separate decades. Notable, the achievement came to the heels of Nicki Minaj expressing frustration with Billboard. Of course, I've been hearing and reading about Billboard itself, and, Nicki Minaj had this opportunity to where, if you win something exclusive, if you show a statement or bill statement that you purchased the album from streaming services, and then, of course, Billboard didn't have the okay with that. They felt kind of slated about that, and they're trying to pull her down because of she's offering, hey, if you show us bill of sale or your receipt or your bank statement that you purchased the album, you might get a bonus content, right? So Billboard was very frustrated about that, and at first they were not counting those for some strange reason. Now, the publication was sabotaging her project's sales due to fan contests that she organized. I think in this, I can understand Nicki Minaj's frustration, because she's not one artist that's saying, hey, I'm going to cash up you some money to go buy my album. That's sabotage, in my opinion. I would never have it to where if I have an album out, hey, we got a low count, I'll send you money to go buy my album. So it's almost like you're getting the album for free, but I'm paying for my own content to get the viewership up. It's a little bit wonky with that. What Nicki Minaj did was, hey, if you show me us, or in the contest, I'm sure there's a safe way of doing this. If you show me your bank statement, you show me that you purchased my album, then you can be in there to win in a contest, maybe a meet and greet with Nicki Minaj or whatever. Now, this was a quote here that Nicki Minaj says, and I'll read the quote, and this is coming from the wrap-up. I've been discussing my 100 barbs contest for months. They said Billboard reached out to say they're going to take away sales due to me telling y'all about the 100 barbs thing. This is what she wrote in a since deleted tweet. A separate post read, and then this is what Nicki says. They are so mad. They said 170,000 to 100,000 album equivalent units, knowing it was 200,000 already. Now, really, really interesting. Now, Pink Friday's 2 album came out on Nicki Minaj's 41st birthday, December 8th, and the 22-song offering boasting a number of high-profile features, including Drake, Lil Wayne, J. Cole, Lil Uzi Vert, and so much more. Now, within this, her collaboration with Philadelphia native, Everybody went viral on TikTok with over 101,000 video creations. That's the song. That's, everybody, that's that song. So that blew up. It really did. It blew up into the charts. A lot of people responded to it. A lot of people did. TikTok creations, I think TikTok is a good way to go. Also in marketing, if your song, and we're in today's society. Hey, if your song hits #1 and it is booming on TikTok, then you got a hit. Same kind of difference when Miss Tyla with her latest song, Water, it was founded on TikTok first. Everybody was dancing. She did her own promotion, and then she ran with it. There's no difference than Nicki Minaj is following the algorithm and running through that. So congratulations to Nicki Minaj. We love you down here in Atlanta, and I can't wait to see what you do next.
We back with another podcast, Spectrum Podcast. My ladies, I'm back. Monica Gray here, live and in the flesh for K.L.P Studios. Shout out to my boo, my baby, Kennedy Lucas. Love you, honey. And we back doing this thing. Now, get this, y'all. Ari Lennox celebrates 1 year of sobriety. This is a quote that she has, and she says, "I love y'all." That is her rolling quote. Now, Ari Lennox has shared an update on her ongoing sobriety by reflecting on her past self and how far she's come over the 1 year since she switched up her lifestyle. I'm really proud of Ari Lennox, not as an artist, but as a person. I think a lot of us have to understand that, our favorite artists, our favorite singers, rappers, musicians, if you will, a lot of people go through a lot of stuff that we may not see as fans. So it's great to see that my girl Ari Lennox is doing her thing, and she's out there doing what she is most passionate about. And she's 1 year sober, 1 year in her sobriety. Now, we all know about that kind of thing, and it's very impactful. I think a lot of artists, and as fans, we should always remember, a lot of artists do go through a lot. There's a lot of expectation, knowing that, hey, that I'm becoming an artist, and even we still here, all of us here in the studio as podcasters and radio show personalities, sometimes we get anxious because we don't want to fail. We don't want our shows not to be hitting, and then people are not listening, and then now we don't have a show, and now it becomes a clusterfuck, if you will. So it's the same kind of concept when it comes to artists, that they're going through something because they don't want to fail. They don't want to fall off, because it's hard. In the music industry, it's hard. When you fall out in music and then you try to make a comeback, and then the comeback is not as strong, people are not buying your album, people are not listening to your music, and then you're not getting paid, then what are you going to do, right? So you have to venture out different businesses, and then even that's going to become stressful. So guess what I think Ari Lennox was going through? I feel like she was going through a lot, but I am glad that she again 1 year sober. Now, on Monday, the Grammy nominee posted a series of photographs of herself looking healthy, along with the lengthy write-up about the still new change. It's good. That's good. And I've seen it all over her social media that, she looks healthy. I think a lot of artists, especially female artists, they're looking healthy, right? In comparison, me and Kennedy, we were talking about this at the house, and we were looking at Meg Thee Stallion. And we all know that Meg Thee Stallion, I don't want to say she was like that nice thick back in the day, but now she's slim thick to where it's sexy, right? She's really taking care of her weight. She's really taking care of her health. And I admire that. I admire that for a lot of women out there that, take care of their bodies, So this was a quote that she wrote out, and this is what she says. She says, "You see, drinking was a ritual to combat my immersive fear of flying," she wrote, before going into detail about the near-death experience wherein she drank far too much. Now, just alcohol could have killed me. I had many guardian angels watching over me that day. Thank God there was nobody filming. I prayed and hoped, and with crying emoji and the side-out emoji. It was pretty divine." Now, she also added that I've decided December 18th, 2022, that would be the day I got clean. What I realized after 1 year of many sober flights, I never needed alcohol to get through the flight. I thought I needed alcohol to escape my reality and to cope. I needed an excuse to drink and not feel the pain of everyday life and trauma. It was my numbing vacations to avoid my purpose and my truth. And then she also added on, she says, thank you to my fans. I love you. I love when y'all share with me your sober dreams and beats. It makes me so emotional. I'm so proud of you, and I love you all so much. We can do this. Very, very good. It's very, very good to see that she's healthy and she's doing her thing. I do remember when she was performing and somebody threw a shoe on stage and she cussed that fan base out on stage, and it was just not really a good look. Again, artists, they go through a lot, and it's good to see that artists like Ari Lennox is getting clean and she's finding herself. And girl, I can't wait till your next album. We need more music from you, Miss Ari Lennox. So that will wrap it up here on our podcast. We do hope that you guys enjoy this one. This is the Spectrum Podcast by K.L.P Entertainment. I'm giving you guys the latest in just urban news, world news, worst news, whatever have it. Whatever we feel like coming on the podcast and talking about, we will do it on this show, the Spectrum Podcast. Now, before we do that, of course, Kennedy just came into the studio, so we got to do some house cleaning of that. Please be sure to check out Kennedy's new, well, I don't want to say Kennedy, I can't say it's a new show because we've had the show for a while, but your comeback show of K.L.P Aftermath with Kennedy Lucas and Rocco Styles. If you missed this week's episode, go check it out. It's really, really great podcast. I can't wait for another episode this week. And also, check out my girl Simone in Studio CT with Simone Teagues. It's a good show. But if you're listening to all of our content on YouTube here at K.L.P Entertainment, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're listening to the audio versions of this podcast, the Spectrum Podcast, new podcast from K.L.P Entertainment, thank you. Share it with your fans, your loved ones, and we'll see you guys in the next episode of the Spectrum Podcast by K.L.P Entertainment. Again, until then, see you later, Atlanta.